Chaos in Kabul after the U.S. withdrawals and the Taliban takes over. Next at 10, hear from a U.S. Navy veteran who served in the war from 9/11 and into Afghanistan, what it's like to see it all end. And what Florida Coast Guard troops are seeing as they rush to relieve the suffering in Haiti. All next on the 10 o'clock news. Fox News alert tonight at 10. A shootout between Tampa police and a suspect inside this apartment complex. What we know so far, when we come right back, we're only 60 seconds out.
Right now at 10, we're staying on top of two big stories tonight. First, shots fired in downtown Tampa prompts a heavy police presence. And Afghanistan falls to terrorists. Tonight, President Biden breaks his silence.
You're watching Fox 13, and the 10 o'clock news starts now.
Good evening. I'm Cynthia Smoot in tonight for Kelly Ring.
And I'm Mark Wilson. Glad to have you with us. First up here at 10 o'clock, this Fox News alert in downtown Tampa. Pretty tense and terrifying moments this evening after a shootout between an off-duty police officer and a man inside an apartment building. Thankfully, we have learned nobody was hit by any of the bullets, but they were a-flying. Fox 13's Catherine Hawley is live near the Metro 510 apartment complex on East Harrison Street, where this all took place a few hours ago. Catherine, tell us what you know here.
Well, Mark, it was a chaotic scene out here earlier this evening. Dozens of Tampa police cruisers swarmed the building after more than 30 people called to report an active shooter. Now, Tampa police are investigating exactly how everything unfolded. We're told calls started pouring into 911 around 6:45. People reporting a man had a gun and was firing inside the apartment complex. Residents we spoke with say they heard multiple gunshots in the hallway and people yelling and screaming. The police chief tells us an off-duty officer took action, exchanging gunfire with the solo suspect. So far, it appears no one was hit by any of the bullets or hurt.
The subject is in custody. Everybody is safe. As far as we know, no one has been injured, but there's a lot of things that have to go on. We had to clear the entire apartment complex to make sure that no one was injured and that everyone is safe. It's going to be quite a lengthy investigation.
Now, Fox 13 cameras were rolling when Tampa police took the man believed to be the shooter into custody. It's not clear what led up to this shooting or why the man opened fire. Water was also seen pouring from the complex tonight. Officials say a bullet may have punctured a water pipe, but that is also being looked into. We're also not clear this evening if the residents who live in this apartment complex will be able to stay here or if they are being evacuated for the evening. We likely won't get many more updates from TPD until tomorrow morning. Mark.
But the best news of all, nobody hurt, that's for sure. Catherine, thanks very much.
Stunning images coming out of Afghanistan today as Afghan citizens desperate to flee the Taliban cling to the side of that U.S. Air Force plane trying to take off. 7 people were killed in all that chaos. And President Biden this afternoon defending his decision to withdraw U.S. forces, also issuing a stern warning to the Taliban, which now controls the entire country. Chris Cato following that for us tonight. And where do things stand right now, Chris?
Well, we do know that evacuations have resumed from that airport there in Kabul. More on that in a moment. But, Cynthia, we heard tonight in that speech from the White House, President Biden saying he stands squarely behind his decision to withdraw U.S. troops at this time, but also admitting that his administration did not foresee the Taliban taking over the whole country so quickly. The Pentagon says the U.S. plans to wrap up oversight of the evacuation by August 31st. Which is the date President Biden set for officially ending the U.S. combat role in Afghanistan. Cynthia.
All right. Thank you, Chris. Well, the fall of Afghanistan is hitting American service members very hard, those who tried to bring stability to that part of the world. Fox 13's Evan Axelbank spoke to one whose journey began on 9/11 and took him to the place from where those attacks were launched. And we will have much more on the developing situation in Afghanistan in our next half hour, including how the crisis is taking a mental toll on service members who fought there. And that's coming up at 10:30.
Well, many people who were once skeptical of the vaccine are now rolling up their sleeves. Listen to this interesting state data. It now shows that the state of Florida here has reached the 65% mark. when it comes to vaccinations. That's folks who either have completed the 2 doses or have gotten at least 1. Many of those people have gotten their shots just in the past few weeks as the Delta variant continues to spread like wildfire. Fox 13 spoke with one woman today who was getting her second Moderna dose. She said she waited all this time because she was afraid initially, but now realizes it's the right thing to do.
Go get it. Don't be afraid. There's nothing, nothing to be afraid of. It actually will save you.
The vaccines are available in most grocery stores, pharmacies, and Walmart locations. They're free and usually available now without any appointment.
Thousands of Hillsborough County students and hundreds of teachers are quarantined because of COVID. The school board has called an emergency meeting for Wednesday to talk about ways to keep those numbers from getting even bigger. There have been more than 900 COVID-19 cases in the Hillsborough County School District since August 2nd, including more than 150 student cases on Monday. In just 15 days in Hillsborough, the district's had more than 10% of the total number of cases recorded in the previous 17 months. And as a result, some 5,600 students, more than 300 staffers have been quarantined. The board's expected to discuss a potential mask mandate during its emergency meeting. Board member Jessica Vaughn says they have to do something.
And those positive tests are way higher than they were last year, and it's the highest rate. So it's not just about failure of policies when it comes to quarantining. It's also about transmittal. And I did not expect for it to be this high this quickly. It was my greatest fear. So I do feel like my greatest fear is coming through. But no, this caught me by surprise in comparison to what we experienced last year.
Governor DeSantis, though, standing by his ban on mask mandates. He says face coverings should be left up to parents. He says mask mandates failed to stop the spread of COVID in schools last year and that masks interfere with a child's ability to learn.
Well, still ahead tonight, was it all for nothing?
That's what a lot of service members who fought in Afghanistan are asking tonight. We're going to hear how the fall of that country could impact the mental health of those who fought there and what veterans can do about it. That's ahead at 10:30. Plus,
the situation is heartbreaking. There's a lot of need at the present time for the people of Haiti.
Yeah, Haiti's been devastated by another powerful and deadly earthquake. Coming up tonight, local guardsmen and women are helping during the crisis. We'll show you how when we come back.
The death toll tonight, more than 1,400 on the island of Haiti after Saturday's 7.2 magnitude earthquake. And now humanitarian agencies are also having to deal with the effects of Tropical Storm Grace. Fox 13's Justin Matthews joining us live from the St. Pete Clearwater Airport. And Justin, we hear now that our local Coast Guard is helping out.
That's right, Cynthia. Coast Guard Air Station Clearwater sent helicopter crews down to Haiti shortly after the earthquake happened.
And now, Fox 13 Chief Meteorologist Paul Delagano with your Sky Tower radar forecast.
As a tropical storm moved inland this afternoon, we finally had a few breaks in the overcast. It was a rather cloudy weekend, especially on Sunday with bands of rain, the eastern edge of Fred. We've got a good sunset tonight. Check it out. Tropical sunset, Carrollwood, Lance Rabb look good on the water, too, at least in Dunedin. Tracy Weiderman, we live here for sure. And then Palmetto looked fantastic. Susan Humphreys, nice job, folks. A couple dozen photos coming in tonight. Pick those. 82 right now. The key tonight is the S8. South winds at 8. And with a storm northwest of us, we get a south wind. So lows tonight will stay in the low 80s, and that same south wind is transporting in a lot of tropical moisture. So I think later tonight along the coast, there could be a few bands of showers or thunder showers kind of regenerating. Then tomorrow with heating, those showers and thunder showers kind of fill in over land. Just a lot of tropical juice in the atmosphere, courtesy of the south wind on the southeast side of the tropical storm, which is still technically a tropical storm. Won't be much for longer because it'll die a weekend across the hills of North Georgia tonight and tomorrow. There are 3 systems we're watching with names. We're also watching Africa and going out 4 or 5 days. Even though there are a couple of waves now coming off the coast of Africa, there's a lot of dry air too. A lot of Saharan dust is blowing to the west. So the chances of additional tropical development for the next 5 days is pretty small. That's good. Okay, so first thing, Fred will be off the map in about a day or so, and then Henri will make a big circle around Bermuda and accelerate northeast. Grace is a tropical depression, should become a tropical storm. It'll move well south of us, and a blocking high will keep Grace moving generally towards Mexico. We'll show you the track in a second. So Fred is technically still a tropical storm, not for long. It'll move north and northeast, moving over Atlanta, up by like Lake Lanier, and then up by Tri-Cities, and then moving into the Roanoke area. And along this path, there's going to be a lot of rain. I mean, we're talking flood watches, flood warnings are up. Panama City, you know, all the way up through Atlanta, and then all the way up across the hills and mountains of western North Carolina, the Piedmont, the foothills, the mountains, and all the way up into Pennsylvania. Several inches of rain are likely. Henri, as I said, will do a big circle. It'll move southwest and then move northeast and accelerate, and then stay out to sea. So no concern from Henri. Even though there is a tropical storm warning up for Bermuda, they should be okay. Tropical depression Grace been dealing with some land interactions. This one will head west-northwest, probably become a tropical storm, could impact Cancun and Cozumel, and then impact Mexico for the second time, maybe as a hurricane over the weekend. But again, even though Grace is down here, it is not going to be heading our way, and the models all kind of confirm that with a big blocking high over us. Grace will not be impacting us. What will be impacting us is additional showers and thunder showers, a south wind tomorrow. It becomes pretty active, but then by Wednesday and Thursday, winds will start turning more to the east and southeast. That'll mean lots of sunshine in the morning and then building storms in the afternoon. So partly cloudy, a couple of coastal showers late tonight, 81. Tomorrow, scattered showers and thunder showers kind of filling in over land, and 92. East wind on Wednesday means sunny early. Afternoon storms in the mid-90s. After that, we may actually dry up a little bit this weekend. We have most folks have had enough rain. Highs over the weekend in the low to mid-90s. Update on the tropics at 10:45.
Little dry will be great. Thank you so much, Paul. You know, you don't even have to know how to act to make a few bucks in the movies. See how you could get paid to use your house when we come back.
Good Day Tampa Bay is your #1 place for overnight news, weather, and traffic with Mariah Harris.
And tomorrow, Mariah has more driving tips to help keep you safe and on your way with Traffic Tip Tuesday.
Then Charlie finds a gallery with art from all mediums.
An all-immersive art installment called Fairgrounds St. Pete. I'll take you there tomorrow on Good Day Tampa Bay.
Fox 13 Sky Tower Weather is sponsored by Farah & Farah, Tampa's accident attorneys.
We specialize in accidents involving commercial trucks. Call for a free consultation.
You could be paid to be in the movies, no acting required.
Sounds like a deal, huh? Well, crews do need access to your home, though, and the right space could provide a nice paycheck. Elizabeth also says it's up to the production companies to determine which homes they want to use, and not every home gets picked, so keep that in mind. Even though your home is amazing, keep that in mind. They're looking for very specific things usually.
That's a pretty cool thing, I have to say.
Pretty neat. All right, America's longest war is ending in chaos and heartbreak.
Including for some who fought right there on the front lines in Afghanistan. And while some veterans applaud the decision, others are in disbelief. When we come right back.
Fox 13 News is brought to you by Mark Spain Real Estate. Get a guaranteed offer on your home today.
Well, right now at 10:30, President Biden is admitting the Taliban's swift takeover of Afghanistan happened faster than they expected.
But he's also standing by his decision to continue the Trump administration's plans to withdraw troops. And other countries are now coming forward to support his decision.
Well, Florida's on a big rebound when it comes to tourism right now. The state had more than 31 million visitors from April to June just this year. And that's according to the state's marketing agency, Visit Florida. That's about a 16% improvement from the first 3 months of the year and a whopping 223% jump compared to the same time last year. Visit Florida says what's helping the rebound is other states shutting down their marketing efforts while Florida invested millions into their ads. However, tourism officials are concerned the high average of COVID cases and negative attention from red tide this summer could hurt their rebound efforts. Still ahead here at 10:30, an Olympian from Florida is fresh off his trip to Tokyo.
But where do you see who's giving him a run for his money in the pool this time? And you'll get to see right after the break. Plus, a dating app for dogs. How shelters are starting to use a popular app to help them find forever homes.
It's the return of the global singing phenomenon. Can you guess the celebrities behind the mask?
Coming up tonight at 11, a Florida fire chief suspended after an incident over the weekend. The criminal charges out of state that have him under investigation. Plus, you know, they always say the dogs are man's best friend. Well, it was this distraught cat that saved his owner's life, and how his incessant meowing helped rescue crews find his missing 83-year-old owner. Those stories and much more coming your way. Top of the hour. We hope you'll join us for the Fox 13 11 o'clock news.
All right, you know, Tinder can help humans find a love connection, and now the dating app is helping dogs to find a new home. Many are deciding to bring a furry friend into their lives during a pandemic, and one animal shelter in Germany is testing out a pretty clever way to find a perfect match. The shelter shoots portraits of dogs and cats, puts their pictures on Tinder. Now, they're not putting cute kitten or puppies on the app. They're actually focusing on pets who've got some sort of a history.
It was important to us to highlight that there aren't only lonely souls among humans, but there are also a lot of lonely souls among animals.
So far, it's working. The shelter says some people are swiping right on the pets and calling the shelter to get more information about their pet profiles. Folks who are interested will be interviewed, and then they can be invited to the facility to continue the adoption process.
That's a good idea. Florida native and Olympian Caleb Dressel, he may be a pro, but he's not the only one with talent in his family. Turns out his dog Jane is a natural-born swimmer, too. Check out her form at the University of Florida Gators Aquatic Center. No problem keeping up with her gold medal-winning owner. Of course, there was a little bit of motivation. Watch her jump. Don't you love that? Because Caleb is holding up her favorite water toy as he swims along, but she's going pretty fast, Scott. Check that out. That dog has got some talent there.
I think the doggy paddle is coming to an Olympic near you. How about that? That could be one of the 4-bys. All right, coming up sports, the Rays. They might have run out of a little bit of steam on that recent 9-game road trip, but back at the Trop here tonight. Fair to say they appear refreshed. We'll get you highlights against the Rays and the Orioles coming up on the other side. Plus, the Bucs' Rakeem Nunez-Roches. He's known to fans and friends as Nacho, and he's got a personality to fit the nickname. Just ahead, we're going to catch up with number 56, find out how he's getting bigger and better for the season ahead. That's next.
Fox 13 News keeps you informed around the clock. But if you can't watch us here, use the Fox 13 News app to catch up on local news. The Fox 13 News app is available on all Apple and Android devices. Download it now.
And now, Fox 13 Chief Meteorologist Paul Delagano with your Sky Tower radar forecast.
Pretty quiet night tonight. I wouldn't expect temperatures to move much. Anytime you get a south wind at night, in the summer, water temperatures still running in the mid to upper 80s. Actually, water temps have actually cooled about 4 to 5 degrees because of all the rain we've had and kind of churned up by the passage of Fred to our west. But still, south winds at 7 means a very warm, muggy night. As far as rain goes, it's quiet now, but most of the high-resolution models are showing later tonight as Fred begins moving, up towards Atlanta. Probably will be a couple of bands of rain developing late tonight out over the Gulf, and some of them could start moving onshore, mainly Tampa Bay north from southwest to northeast. So for now, it is quiet after a pretty healthy soaking around Tampa Bay this afternoon. So here's the radar presentation. So most of the heavy rain with Fred now has jumped away from Florida, and it's mainly in Alabama and Georgia. All of this weather is going to move up by Atlanta and then pretty much head up towards the mountains of North Carolina. And because it's elevation here, the elevation kind of wrings out the water in the atmosphere. So the rainfall is actually enhanced along the elevated areas and the Piedmont, the foothills, and the mountains. So they're talking 5, 6, 7, 8 inches of rain easily the next couple of days. Waiting for the 10 o'clock advisory. It's going to head northeast, and you know how it works over land. By tomorrow, it's a depression. After that, it's probably a remnant low, and that'll be that. Mainly a rainmaker. As far as wind goes, tropical storms, yeah, we had wind gusts today. Apalachicola, I remember 68, we had a wind gust, but generally speaking, the big impacts in tropical storms are not the wind, it's the water, storm surge and freshwater flooding. Futurecast, some showers at 7 a.m., kind of rotating in from the Gulf of Mexico. They'll fill in during the day with heating. There'll be a lull, and then by Wednesday, the winds start going east again, or east-southeast, so we get sunshine in the morning, then afternoon storms going back to the west coast like we had last week. 80 at 5 a.m., a couple showers around. As the day moves along, we'll see a mixture of clouds and sun. This is by midday. High temperatures will be around 88. And then through early afternoon, low 90s, with showers and thunder showers moving mainly from southwest to northeast. That's it. Scott.
All right. Thank you, Paul. Remember when the Rays were simply known for pitching and defense? You know, if they could only hang with the offensive prowess of teams like the Yankees and the Red Sox. Well, times have changed. The Rays have now one of the top 3 highest scoring offenses in baseball, better than the Yankees, better than the Red Sox, and they hit more home runs to boot. So 20 pounds in 2 to 3 weeks. It might be a lot of nacho consumption in there, Mark.
I would bet. A little bit extra cheese, perhaps. He looks like a lot of fun, though. Let's hope it translates on the field for sure. Yep. Scott, thanks. All right, still ahead here tonight at 10:30, a massive data breach under investigation. What T-Mobile customers need to know right after the break.
Fox 13 Sports is sponsored by the law firm of Catania and Catania, putting families first.
From the fishing fleet that makes its home in Tarpon Springs to the tower that keeps watch over Sulphur Springs, this is Fox 13 country.
Connell, thanks. Now we've got a Fox News consumer alert for cell phone users. T-Mobile was target of a data breach that could have exposed some personal information for millions of customers. The cell phone company confirmed there was unauthorized access to some of T-Mobile's data. According to a hacker posted in an underground forum offering to sell personal information from more than 100 million people. That data includes social security numbers, phone numbers, addresses, driver's license information, and more. T-Mobile says they're working with digital forensic experts and law enforcement to investigate this breach. And the FDA is asking people to stop feeding this food to their dogs. Take a good look. Officials saying that frozen dog food made by Wet Nose's Natural Dog Treat Company has a high level of vitamin D. The recall affects the 2-pound and 4.5-pound packages of chicken and veggies, beef and barley turkey, sweet potato, pork, and veggies dog food. High levels of vitamin D can lead to a number of problems in your dog, including weight loss, increased urination, and excessive drooling. All right, what's Thanksgiving without turkey? Well, you might just find out this year. Meat producers and distributors say a shortage could mean no turkey on the table for some this holiday season. The New York Post shortage is reporting the shortage will mostly impact fresh birds under 16 pounds, which tends to be the most popular. Extra large frozen birds, they're going to be easier to find, but they're going to be labor intensive for cooks and more expensive. It can take up to 6 days to properly defrost a 20-pound bird. Still ahead here at 10 o'clock. You know, when there's a will, there's definitely a way. How this mother in need received an unexpected show of support from their community. It's good stuff, and it's next.
Fox 13 News is brought to you in part by Wesley Chapel Toyota, home of a lifetime warranty and 4 years maintenance.
Fox 13's Laura Moody helps you make every day a good day.